I wanted to speak about buildings and structures and how they feature in our decided journeys towards the true light reality of the all is. In particular, buildings and what they demonstrate on the real side, in our dream experiences. On the physical level, the passing dream, buildings, like anything in creation, are ideas. The inception of a thought, a decision to create something, and then the actuality of it, buildings as an example. For the idea to be made manifest, as with anything in creation, agreement is required, unless one were to build something simply by their own hand. But structures of a greater scale require many hands, that they may be brought forth into our experience. Agreement is required, and then agreement to maintain said building. Of course, then, buildings can represent various things, beyond just the structure they seem to be. A building in and of itself is an idea, but then buildings can be assigned certain qualities. They stand for certain systems, representing, perhaps, something political, something religious. We have then the original idea, that is, a building, and buildings should really be simply for shelter purposes. The indigenous peoples would construct shelters and homes for this simple reason: protection from the elements, and we see the same in the animal kingdom. Animals building simple structures, nests and hidey holes, for safety from animals with bigger teeth, for food storage purposes, and protection from the weather. What animals and the indigenous peoples did not do is attach further ideas to the idea that were the shelters. Also, they were made with materials gleaned from the natural environment. There seems little reason to desire materials beyond which the environment can provide. The all-natural environment completely supports us all, from the food we require to the materials we need for our shelters. But as with anything in creation, it seems species cannot simply be in alignment with the all-natural environment for long. They cannot stop at the basic initial idea, as exemplified by the animals. The world then turns into a factory for the production of unnecessary materials for the construction of our homes, and to the detriment of the all-natural environment. The animals simply are. They demonstrate awareness in all that they do. They consider nothing, ponder over nothing, and do not embrace and create ideas and notions. They do not continue to add endless layers of ideas, and anything they encounter in their experience, they simply encounter it. They will not add emotion and thought ideas to the idea they have stumbled across. They simply deal with the situation, and beyond that, no further consideration is required. But the created consciousness of humans, and indeed all other species in creation that have free will made available, which kicks in at a certain point, beyond the animal vehicle forms that every individual goes through, will do what they once did not, as an animal lacking free will. With their free will, they create. And yes, creations are essential, as it is the ideas that we produce that result in cause and effect time phases of experience that we can recognize then the is. In an animal form, if we are not pondering ideas, if we are not projecting anything of a nature that will result in experiences, yes, we are then in a state of awareness, but we are also rather stuck in creation. We cannot move along in our process without activating something, and this is why it seems that the is will generally move an animal individual along. It will afford them the animal forms for each lifetime, until eventually the individual takes on a species that we may say is beyond the animal vehicles, and then has free will. At this point, the individual can create. Free will can be utilized, and then the reins of future lifetime positions are in the hands of the individuals. They then can create experiences for themselves, based on the free will activation of cause and effect ideas, and begin then a journey through countless lifetimes, until they reach a stage where they have the opportunity to begin to reach for the is, to become aware of what else there is besides endless lifetimes in the creational simulation. Of course, most individuals spiral off into lifetimes that span eons, through epochs, and may never leave creation, as we can get rather lost in our creations, our created consciousness, and the chasing of phenomena in the psych realms, especially when another species decide to over-encourage the chasing of phenomena by creating as much attention-captivating ideas as they can. The reptilians, of course, in their bid to secure and maintain their created slave human species, that the slaves may never leave creation. So, from a simple idea that is a shelter, we add more ideas to it as a species. We proclaim this building to be a place of worship. Effectively then, we decide to sit in a grand temple and pray to the gods. Amusing how we in fact are praying to a large triple-headed reptilian that resides on the fourth mental level of creation, and worship is simply begging. We are begging this reptilian for enhanced lives, whereas through awareness we can decide and choose whatever we want. Everything is available in creation. It is a reflective bubble for our wants. It does come with cause and effect consequences if we are not standing in the new nowness of the is, but nevertheless we need in fact not pray or beg to anything. And when we do step into the is, if we choose this universal position, we can supersede creation and its limited cause and effect position, and have and be whatever we want in the real universes. Indeed, standing in the isness in creation now, we are liberated from cause and effect. If our real intent is established and our focus firmly fixed on the recognition of the true reality. So yes, we have our places of worship. We attach ideas to it, ideas of a religious nature and emotional ideas on top of that. And as all religions are based on an idea that was conceived by the reptilians, we are agreeing then to this distortion. A simple shelter has become a restriction, layered with ideas beyond the original idea that a structure should be. And not only something we agree to, become emotionally attached by, and project future lifetimes accordingly through tap lining, but as everything in creation is catered toward the demise of the planet and the constriction of awareness, we are then contributing to this demise, and will experience far worse lifetimes and embodiments as a result. Also, we will be energetically drained by the tap lining, as all religions are reptilian creations. And the reptilians are effectively energy vampires, and religious people can therefore expect illnesses and cancers that stem from any reptilian and Callum god worship. The same can be said for any building in today's so-called modern society. Banking buildings, judicial buildings, everything is no longer simply a shelter, but a multi-layered and convoluted hodgepodge of ideas, incorporating and stimulating emotion and thought, and gleaning agreement for whatever it represents. On the real side, we can determine the nature of these official structures, be afforded views beyond the marketing fronts, and determine that once again these buildings and the systems they stand for represent nothing but control, as everything in creation is about control. The world is not as we think it is, not as it is marketed to be. It's based on distortion and agreement-seeking ideas that ultimately lead to the demise of all who agree to them, and the demise of the planet and creation. Everything is infected, everything overrun by taplining reptilians, and to agree to these ideas, these various buildings, we can expect to have a reptilian insert a tapline into us. For yes, they move unseen amongst the humans in these very places of worship and reverence, and everywhere, and all other structures and buildings. This can be demonstrated on the real side also, if we request to be shown, or we may simply have it revealed anyway. And some individuals do not even need to go to the real side for this determination. Sandy Staling can see reptilians on the physical level, and can testify to their presence in such places as the Ekankar buildings, going about their taplining skullduggery.